All right, we are continuing the series of our Dynasty Rookie Mock Draft. We already did round one. And if you want to watch round one before you watch round two, you can see the video. It's somewhere up here. You can click on that. But we are continuing from that series, and we are doing round two of a Dynasty Rookie Draft. 4 things we're considering. I put up 3. 4 things we're considering. Number 1, talent. Number 2, landing spots that we have for them. Number 3, that team's needs. And number 4, we're projecting their value 1 year from now. So the last player in the first round was Jerome Ford, and I have the first pick in the second round where I'm odds, Badake's evens. So at the 201, I'm going to take Drake London. My landing spot for him is the New York Football Jets. Most people are higher on London, and I think he's going to go higher in most rookie drafts. However, this is probably where I'm comfortable taking Drake London. Yeah. I like the upside, and that's why I'm taking him here. But personally, I think I prefer a wide receiver who's got the elite speed, a better route runner, can create separation easier. Yeah. So I don't really prefer this type of wide receiver on my football teams and in my dynasty leagues. So that's why he's a little bit lower in our rankings. But look, he's monster. He's got monster size. I mean, 6'5", great hands, can win any one-on-one ball. People have comped him to Mike Evans. I don't think he's as fast as Mike Evans is. No. But still, based off the upside, I'm going to take him here at the 201.
Yeah, I love it. At the 202, I have Jahan Dotson going to the Indianapolis Colts. Look, another wide receiver that can jump into an offense and contribute, in my personal opinion. He's one of my favorite dark horses, a guy that I believe is going to continue to rise in drafts and in mock drafts. I think he could potentially sneak into the first, depending on if you really believe in him. But look, great speed, can make people miss, great football IQ, and going to the Indianapolis Colts, you got Michael Pippen there. Maybe Jahan Dotson can play the slot. He can be the other guy on the other side. They just lost T.Y. Hilton. So I like Jahan Dotson here at the 202.
All right, at the 203, I took George Pickens. And my landing spot for him is the Detroit Lions. It might not be amazing, but he instantly would fill a void and get opportunities, which I would love for him. Look, George Pickens is continually moving up my rankings as I watch more of his films. Right. I don't know if you know this, Badake, but last night I watched more George Pickens film, and I moved him to my wide receiver 5 in this class.
Oh, boy.
From wide receiver 10, I think he was. Continually moving up my draft board. I honestly believe if it wasn't for his injuries, I think he would be the 101 in this year's class. I really do think he would be the most talented wide receiver. Wow. He is the most talented wide receiver despite injury.
He definitely is.
Uber talented. I said this in a video before, but Picasso was born to paint. George Pickens was born to play wide receiver. Yeah. Big body, so smooth, very fluid in and out of his routes. With every step, he takes confident steps and knows what he's doing. He's a true Alpha X wide receiver. In the second round, you could be getting a top 3 talent in this year's class. So I am worried about the injury and the disciplinary issues, but I'm hoping that he can overcome that because of the talent that he is. That's the 203. Who's the 204?
204 is Trey McBride, and he's going to my beloved New York Football Giants. And maybe I'm a little bit skewed because we had the mobile tight end, the fast guy that can't block, that can't do anything, that drops the ball. This guy does everything that Evan Ingram can't do. He can block, he can run, and he can catch the ball, and he is a definition of a tight end. Why not go to the New York Football Giants and contribute there with Danny Dimes and all this and cast, just block. Yeah. Block for me, please.
And he's a great receiver as well.
Yeah, no. Sorry. I mean, yes, he's a good blocker, but he's a
do-it-all guy.
He's a do-it-all guy. Great blocker, decent speed. He's very strong. He has all the tangibles for a tight end. He's not just a blocker. I love it. He's a tight end.
I love it. All right, at the 205, I am taking Kyren Williams. My landing spot for him is the Tennessee Titans. You might be confused by that. Well, where's the opportunity going to come from? Right. Look, Derrick Henry's 28. Okay, he can't run the ball 380 times a year anymore. Maybe he's never going to do that again. The offense will have to change at some point. Yeah. Guys like Ryan Tannehill and A.J. Brown will outlast Derrick Henry, okay? I think Kyren will give any team, in my scenario, the Titans, something that they don't have on their offense. He's got elite speed, very shifty, very good burst. As a pass catcher, he's probably the best pass-catching running back in the class, and he's a weapon for any NFL offense. You might look at him, I think he's 5'9", very undersized, and think, how is this guy going to take a full workload? Well, he's already done that for Notre Dame, okay? Last year in 2021, he accounted for 33.56% of his team's total offense.
Yeah.
Receiving yards, rushing yards, and total touchdowns, excuse me. He accounted for over 33% of that. So he can handle a workhorse load, even though I do think he's probably going to be in a split backfield. I still like the talent, and I'm betting on it here at the 205.
Wow. At the 206, I have Isaiah Spiller. He's going to the Houston Texans. Look, I like Spiller. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I think
a lot of people love him. I feel like I hate him. I don't hate him, actually. I'm the only one who doesn't like him.
I think he's a low-key dark horse. Why? I think it's because he does just everything decent. And he's just going to go to a below average team that needs some help, and he could be a guy that he could fill that David Johnson role. Okay. Once again, he's a decent vision, decent speed. He can make people miss sometimes. Why not take a chance on Isaiah Spiller? I mean, in the second round, you probably need some running back depth. I like the pick here.
Yeah, look, I'm not a big Isaiah Spiller fan. That's probably a lot of people are like, why is he falling so far in this draft? But I do see the validity of taking him here. He probably should go earlier. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
All right, the 207, I took Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wan'Dale.
And my landing spot for him was the Indianapolis Colts. Good speed, not elite. Okay, good speed. Shifty, sudden movements. Think of a Kadarius Toney type player.
Right.
Great after the catch. Lightning in a bottle. When I watched him on film, he reminded me of Tyreek Hill. He's nowhere near as fast or doesn't have as good a speed as Tyreek does, but his movements and what he can do for an offense, it reminds me a little bit of Tyreek. And this is the type of player that a lot of NFL teams are currently looking for because they think, what could I do with this weapon in my offense?
Right.
So for the Colts, I think he's a missing piece. They have JT, who's a freight train. They have Michael Pittman, who can win the one-on-ones. And this is an element to their offense that they don't have yet. Who's the 208?
208, I have James Cook, and this is Dalvin's little brother. Give it to Dalvin. This is little brother Dalvin. Good vision, patient runner, decent speed, and look. Obviously, they're brothers, they're family. You can see a glimpse of Dalvin. Dalvin's giving him pointers in the backfield. Dalvin's giving him pointers in the backyard. You know, like he could be the guy. I'm not saying he could be Dalvin Cook, but he could be a little glimpse of Dalvin Cook. Get rid of, and he's going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know if I said that. He's going to the Bucs. Get rid of Lenny. You know, Tom Brady's gone. Get rid of Rojo. You know, let him go wherever he wants. Keep Vaughn. You know, keep him on the team. Let him be the pass catching back, and then James Cook. He can just be the first and second down back, even though the stats don't show it. But I do believe he can be an all down back. I still believe he can be a 3 down back in my personal opinion. And the offensive line is decent. They invested so much in this offensive line. Yeah. He can have good opportunity in Tampa.
Yeah, I like James Cook as a really, really good third down back in the league. So we might see that a little bit differently.
Right.
I comped him to James White. That's kind of the player I see him being, but maybe he could be a 3 down back. Who knows? At the 209, I took another interesting running back prospect in Rachaad White. My landing spot for him was the Chicago Bears. Such an interesting prospect. Such an interesting guy. I mean, he's 6'2". He runs like a wide receiver.
So weird.
But he plays the running back position.
Doesn't make any sense.
He has pretty good vision, good speed. On film, you can see his bag of tricks. I mean, he can juke, he can shift, he can make guys miss in the open field. I think what happened last year in the NFL is very good for Rachaad White. Guys like Cordero Patterson, that running back wide receiver hybrid, if you will.
Yeah.
The way the Falcons utilized him, I think a lot of teams, it turned their heads and think, let's look at these prospects a little bit differently. And that's how I view Rachaad White. I think he can be utilized as a running back wide receiver combo. He can line up in the backfield. He can line up as a wide receiver. Very versatile. And I think a lot of GMs or even offensive coordinators are going to look at him and think, I could utilize this guy in some really fun ways. Who's the 210, Badake?
Carson Strong at the 210 going to Atlanta Falcons. This guy, I look at Carson Strong and I say he came to the NFL in the wrong decade. He is slow. He is tall, but he is accurate. He has great football IQ. I think you can not saying he has Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, all these guys that just sit in the pocket. But I think if he was in this league 10, 15 years ago, I think we would be talking about Carson Strong a lot differently right now. He's just in a mobile quarterback decade. But look, Atlanta Falcons, let him sit under Matt Ryan, another guy that's not as mobile. He can get some pointers from him. Matt Ryan has some experience, and I think Carson Strong could be a decent quarterback. He just has no legs.
Yeah, I like it. All right, the 211 is Brian Robinson Jr. out of Alabama for me. My landing spot for him was the Baltimore Ravens. Look, Brian Robinson doesn't do anything at an elite ability, but he does a lot of things really, really well. I think he would benefit from going in a run-heavy offense, so that's why I put him on the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
I think he could be a great spellback for J.K. Dobbins. He has good vision. He's confident in his first step, not afraid of contact. So he can take some defenders with him. He can move the pile. Does the little things well. Does all those small little things well. I see shades of James Robinson. He's not as good as James Robinson. He's not even as good as Jerome Ford. But a lot of GMs are higher on Brian Robinson than we realize. And I think it's because he's from the Bama system.
Right.
Everyone wants a Bama running back. So he could be a workhorse, but I think he's more likely the 2 in a 1-2 running back room. Someone who can kind of add that punch for you.
Okay. At the 112, our last guy here, Sky Moore, going to the Buffalo Bills. He's a small, shifty, Swiss Army knife guy. Look, not the biggest guy, but great speed, can make people miss. And if you get rid of Cole Beasley, he can be the guy that can fit in the slot. And I love Sky Moore here.
Yeah, I like it. All right, guys, that is the second round. We've already done the first round. You can check it out on our page, and we're going to do the third round here soon. Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.